Bioshock 2 rewards the player for caring about Bioshock 2 in real time. The sequel to one of modern gaming's most critically acclaimed titles features a level of fan service that I have yet to experience in any other video game. If you pay attention while scouring the flooded halls of Rapture, and especially if you have already played Bioshock 1, there will be something new to make you smile in just about every door you unlock, every audio diary you collect, and every piece of detail and decoration you see scattered throughout the city.
You and me, kid, we're going places.
Put a gun to your head and pull the trigger.
Hello, my name is Will and I love Bioshock. It's time to get into the nitty gritty, folks. Here are 6 reasons why Bioshock 2 is such a banger of a video game and an absolute pristine sequel. Banger number 1, the Big Daddy. Perhaps one of, if not the single most iconic character from a new video game franchise in the past 2 decades. In the original Bioshock, not only do you spend the entire game fearing and strategizing around the existence of a Big Daddy, but you even get to play as a bootleg version of a Big Daddy during the endgame. Point Prometheus is one of my favorite levels in the game and was a total surprise to me during my first playthrough. You're telling me, after hours and hours of hearing Mr. Bubbles moaning and groaning throughout Rapture, I get to be the Bubble Buddy? Yeah, I'm there. And sure, maybe the escort mission during the Proving Grounds was a bit of a slog in having to guard the little sister while she harvested Adam. It was still important to experience as it portrayed what it was like to be trapped in one of those terrifying suits for life. Turn on Bioshock 2 and boom, you're a Big Daddy. The entire game builds upon the concepts introduced in Point Prometheus and puts the player in control of the most fearsome foe from the original game. And to top it all off, you're a brand new type of Big Daddy that didn't even appear in Bioshock 1. So this entire experience is net new lore for your brain to obsess over. I think the 2K Marin team made an excellent choice in making the player character a previously unseen Alpha Series version of the Big Daddy. It unchained them from sticking to the assumed feel of controlling a sluggish and over-encumbered bouncer or Rosie type, and created a logical in-game explanation as to why this Alpha Series type is much more agile and nimble than his cousins. Okay, cool. So what would be next on a Bioshock fan's wish list for a sequel? How about fighting a Big Daddy as a Big Daddy? Yup, we've got it. Not only do the Rosie and Bouncer types return, we see a new type in the Rumbler that fights with a completely unique moveset. And how about we not only throw in other Big Daddies that are the same Alpha Series as the player, but we also give this enemy class like one of the coolest set piece moments in the Shockaverse.
Don't look now, but I believe one of your old colleagues wants to welcome you back to the office.
I mean, come on. Banger! Number 2, the Little Sisters. So Bioshock 1 enjoyers almost certainly finished the first game with a fascination into what exactly the Little Sisters are. Even just the concept of young children being kidnapped, experimented on, and killed, if the player so chooses, is a bold idea to include in a mainstream release, let alone making it a central mechanic of your game's entire universe that you cannot avoid. Bioshock 2 ups the ante even more, allowing you to adopt these little sisters, assist them in draining corpses for their precious Adam, and either rescuing or terminating them. The increased focus on what the little sisters are and how they function crescendos during the endgame in Outer Persephone, where you play as a little sister. I had completely forgotten about this sequence and was shocked when it started. The Little Sisters segment might just be the biggest risk the series ever took, and I think it paid off a million times over. Getting to experience a Little Sister's POV explained a crucial part of the psychology of these little gremlins. I had always assumed there was some element of mind control in order to keep the sisters in line, but understanding that they see the world through bright white sunshine tinted glasses blew my mind. Coupled with the brief moments where the illusion fades away and you see what the reality of Rapture is actually like, it's one of my favorite moments of the Bioshock franchise. And then here comes banger number 3, the Big Sisters. a completely new mechanic to Bioshock 2 that organically answers a lot of the lore-related questions fans would have after Bioshock 1. Do the Little Sisters age? Do they ever stop producing Adam? If this city has collapsed, where are they getting these new sisters from? The Big Sister serves as the physical embodiment of the past roughly 8 to 10 years since the events of Bioshock 1. Instead of having a narrator hold your hand and explain to you in black and white what has happened to the city, everything you learn about the Big Sister explains it for you. Yes, the Little Sisters age, and yes, their Adam production abilities do expire. Yes, Rapture has run out of little girls to convert into sisters. What's the solution? Continue to control and weaponize the now teenage sisters to keep the supply rolling by kidnapping children from the surface world. Now, personally, I do think the Big Sister fights are a bit of a lowlight, so I'll just kind of gloss over that. But it is an interesting twist that after spending the entire game bringing down Big Sis after Big Sis, your beloved adopted daughter Eleanor becomes a Big Sister and fights alongside you. The end game is electric. I really appreciate the developers letting you go God mode during the Enter Persephone finale. Having Eleanor at your side to take advantage of the Big Sister's fighting abilities is a major flex. Banger number 4. The city of Rapture gets expanded in the sequel, showing us 8 completely new districts. Bioshock 1 absolutely has its own iconic locales such as Fort Frolic and Arcadia, but for me, I think damn near every level in Bioshock 2 is even more memorable. For starters, I'm a total sucker for any level featuring an amusement park or a museum, and Ryan Amusements is essentially both. This was the site of a family-friendly propaganda ritual to teach children to fear the surface. Well, I guess family-friendly and propaganda is a bit of a contradiction. As you follow the ride's path, you see animatronic exhibits narrated by founder Andrew Ryan, explaining his ideology that led to the creation of the now dystopian Rapture. Popper's Drop represents what life was like for the poorest of Rapture's citizens, most of which were people of color such as Grace Holloway. This level left a mark on me because it drives home how much Andrew Ryan's economic ideals of an unfettered capitalist society can only exist if there's a class of poor people to build it on top of. The various shopping stalls and diners make it feel like it used to be a close-knit community, but it was ravaged by poverty and plasmids. Siren Alley clearly draws inspiration from New Orleans with its wraparound balconies that run the length of the buildings. The district also harbors preacher-turned-splicer commander Simon Wales, who you confront in an incredibly well-designed chapel-like room for a boss fight. Fontaine Futuristic feels like a Hershey's Park or a Coca-Cola factory with its celebration of Fontaine's plasmic technologies. The set-piece moment where Gilbert Alexander puts you in the spotlight, literally, and makes some lucky volunteers attack you feels like a dolphin show at SeaWorld. Enter Persephone might be the darkest level in the series. And I mean that literally, as in like the lumen count. It's like real low in this part. This dark dungeon was a prison for Rapture's criminals, political dissidents, and the mentally insane, ultimately serving as a source of test subjects for discussing experiments such as the one that turned the protagonist into Subject Delta. And this rolls nicely into banger number 5. The characters. Augustus Sinclair, the smooth-talking Rapture robber baron with a transatlantic accent. As he guides Delta through his journey, you start to feel that he has truly taken a liking to Subject Delta. But that's all flipped on its head when we learn that Sinclair is the sole reason the man inside the suit became Delta in the first place. Sinclair's final moments are full of remorse and regret, making the need to put him down not just a simple act of revenge, but an uncomfortable decision to put him out of his misery. Of course, we can't talk about Sinclair's demise without talking about the GOAT herself, Sophia Lamb. Did you get it? Catch that? A master manipulator that masqueraded as a psychotherapist only to form an army of brainwashed splicers she calls the family, Lamb is the reason for the season. It's a real messy custody battle. While you were chemically bonded to Eleanor with the task of protecting her as a little sister, Eleanor is Sophia's daughter by blood, so the motivation she has to take you out is abundantly clear. Learning about Sophia's rise to power through audio diaries and radio broadcasts is fascinating, and I have to give a huge shout out to the companion book Bioshock Rapture by John Shirley. If you find Sophia Lamb to be an interesting figure in Rapture's history, that book covers every single unanswered question and mapping out how she wormed her way into Rapture to commandeering the sinking city for her own nefarious needs. I really recommend you read that book. I've got to give a shout out to Gilbert Alexander as well, starting as the scientist responsible for creating the mechanism that bonded little sisters to Alpha Series Big Daddies, and ending as a giant mutated baby man in a tank. Gilbert, affectionately referring to himself as Alex the Great, is one kooky guy. I already mentioned how cool of a level Fontaine Futuristics is, but the performance from voice actor John Shirley really brings his character to life, man. Spending the whole game picking up audio diaries from the sound-minded Gil logging his scientific exploits, to then being hounded and harassed by a Fallout New Vegas type security bot controlled by Alex the Great. It's Bioshock at its most absurdist. By the way, the right answer is always to leave Gil alive to suffer for eternity in his mutant baby man state. For our final banger, I want to show love to my personal favorite component of the Shockaverse, the audio diaries. I actually remember opening a copy of Guinness Book of World Records Gamers Edition at a middle school book fair and seeing Bioshock 2 was recognized for most audio logs in a video game. It's 189, including the DLC, according to that book, for those interested. This is another example of 2K Marin just not overthinking it. The audio diaries were a fan favorite in Bioshock 1, and a creative way to reward player exploration with optional lore. So, they just leaned into it further and created some truly jaw-dropping moments. I just want to highlight some of my favorite audio diaries from Bioshock 2, being really selective. Let's start with this one found during the end game in Inner Persephone, recorded by one of the doctors who worked for Sophia Lamb.
Now, one of the girls managed to dart past the nurse today and throw herself over the railing in the lobby. Now, without proper setting, the rapid healing process had fused her bones back together at odd angles. We had to re-break and set them almost a dozen times, each due to the small window of viability. Now, those children may be immortal, but I can verify they feel pain.
Next is the finale of a series of audio diaries found throughout your playthrough, recorded by Mark Meltzer, a surface dweller who has ventured to Rapture in search of his kidnapped daughter. I think this may be the most recent audio diary found in Rapture, meaning it was recorded mere seconds before you actually find it.
I found her. Found Cindy. And she doesn't even recognize me. What have they done to her? Listen to her.
The man in the moon is a girl, Mr. Bubbles.
No! Get back! She's my little girl!
Now, the last audio diary I want to highlight is one found very early in the game, featuring a public debate between Andrew Ryan and Sophia Lamb. I love this one because of how hard Lamb's closing remark goes. Check this out.
Rapture is no miracle. It is a product of reason. Impossible unless 1 and 1 are 2, and A equates to A.
Reality is consensus, and the people are losing faith. Take a walk, Andrew. It is raining in Rapture, and you have simply chosen not to notice.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen!
It's perfect. Simply perfect, absolute cinema. Bioshock 2 is a great example of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everything the millions of players loved about Bioshock 1 is cranked up to max volume in Bioshock 2, baby. The gameplay is better, the story is better, the world building is better, and above all else, the vibes are better. Even with the odds stacked against them with Ken Levine declining to be involved and expectations being sky high, 2K Marin delivered in every way imaginable with an all-time banger of a video game. Here's to hoping Bioshock 4 can escape the purgatory it's currently trapped in, and we all get to experience a satisfying return to Rapture in the near future. Goodbye.